And we have Michelle Morrissey on the lines with us this very moment right now. Michelle, do you want to say hello to the listeners out there?
What
Hi, Michelle.
yes,
Sorry, you were breaking up for a moment there. Do you want to say hello to the listeners?
yes. Good morning to all the listeners. I hope you are having a great morning.
Awesome. Glad to have you with us on the lines today once again, Michelle. And for those of you who remember Michelle Morrissey, she has been with us actually twice already. First time, which was when she released one of her songs called Hallelujah. And then the second time was when she spoke about her event regarding whistleblowers. And today we will be talking to her about supporting whistleblowers in South Africa. So, Michelle, based on potential donors and supporters, why is it important to support whistleblowers in South Africa?
Well, because people don't really understand the significance of um, the importance of why people become whistleblowers. And the reason why people become whistleblowers is to do a good thing. And a lot of people have lost their lives through doing a good thing. And uh, the main the main objective of this whole thing is to raise awareness towards whistleblowers and make everybody understand uh, what the role in society is and why they're doing what they're doing.
That's true, Michelle. So, our next question, what are your concerns about the current situation for whistleblowers in South Africa?
There's not enough support. That is the current situation in South Africa. Is that there needs to be more support. Um, if there's more avenues and support, then I think that it wouldn't be so challenging for people to do what they need to do. Um, it's been very, very difficult for a lot of people, and please also take into cognizance that whistleblowers lose their jobs. They lose not just their lives, they lose their jobs, they lose their significance in society. They become, um, you know, uh, stained as troublemakers, uh,
True.
which is not far from the truth. It's only because it's been made to look in that capacity. But they play a very vital role in society and in the government. In fact, they are even helping the police in many aspects.
That's right. So, Michelle, moving on to the next question, what kind of support do you think is most needed for whistleblowers?
Well, I would say that the government needs to bring out some sort of incentive that encourages people to want to do the right thing because, especially in your job situation, you get told to be honest, you get told to follow processes, procedures, and policies, and that's what whistleblowers are doing. The main objective uh, is to just correct what is wrong. That's all. It's not to attack anybody, but the government has to uh, start giving more support because that's where the weakness is coming from the top. So you can't start from the bottom unless the top is strong. Um, that is where the significance is to give that support because there's a lot of people that need support with this. Um, and, they just feel lost because they don't know which way to go because if they go left, it's wrong. If they go right, it's wrong. So they don't know which direction to go in.
That's
So
true.
it's very important that the correct support mechanism is legislated into government so that whistleblowers feel comfortable and they don't feel that they're going to get killed or lose their jobs or that kind of thing.
That's right.
Mm.
So, Michelle, moving on to our next set of questions related to whistleblowers or those who have worked with them. So, can you share your experience as a whistleblower or working with whistleblowers in South Africa?
Well, my experience as a whistleblower has been very intense. The persecution is terrible. Um, I feel that the person doing right gets treated worse than the person doing wrong. And, you know, you feel like you have got no place in society, and you know, that it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be. It should be the opposite way around. The people that are doing wrong should be, you know, held accountable. You know, consequences to everybody's action.
True.
But if you're going to, if you're going to, if you're going to be doing something right and then it gets made to look wrong, um, you know, then it's not a good thing. So um, experience is not nice, and that's why um, there's a challenge, and we have to start rising up now against this um, evil in our society, because it's daunting us as people that want to do the right thing, because we're trying to save lives. It's not just a personal thing that, you know, we want to just do things to make ourselves look good. It's not about that.
Exactly.
It's about saving lives. It's about, you know, putting money back into the pockets of people, because when there's less corruption and fraud, then there's more money in the budget to create jobs. There's more money in the budget for less taxation and inflation, and that is basically what we work towards. That is what our role is.
Awesome stuff, Michelle. And also, for the next question coming up, what kind of support would have been most helpful to you during this experience?
Well, the understanding, you know, to have an avenue. You know, when I became a whistleblower, there wasn't many avenues to actually go through, so it made it very hard. Um, and of course, the people doing wrong had more power over you and that authority to push you down and to say, like, you know, you're nobody and we everybody, and you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to say that. And that makes it very, very, very difficult, because you don't understand what is going on, because you get told that you have to do the right thing in your job. And when you're doing the right thing in your job, then it becomes wrong. And then that's a confusing issue about it. So that is where that's where there's a downfall, and that has to also be, you know, changed significantly in the future, if there's going to be a difference and change in this whistleblowing aspect.
Well said, Michelle. And into the next question as well. What are the biggest obstacles facing whistleblowers in South Africa?
Well, I would say that, you know, they have to be careful of everything, every step that you take. You've got to be careful, because and you've got to watch your back all the time, because you're trying to do good. At the same time of trying to do good, you've got to watch your back. You can also be killed, because you can just stand on the foot of somebody that you might be afflicting. So, we giving up our lives. In actual fact, if you look at it in that aspect, whistleblowers are giving up their lives to save the public, to save, um, you know, the government and everything from any backlash of any sort. So those obstacles need to be identified. Um, there has to be more involvement and talk. You don't hear very much talk about whistleblowers and the protection of whistleblowers.
Yeah,
So it needs to start changing, um, and as difficult as it may be, but it has to start changing
true.
significantly, because if it doesn't, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and people are going to. There's also a high suicide rate, not just assassinations with whistleblowers, but that is something that needs to stop, because people shouldn't feel like they don't have the right to, and you know, everybody has the right to live, no matter who they are, and where, what they're doing and whatever. But there has to be more support in terms of this, and I feel that the obstacles that we are referring to will be lessened.
That's right. That's actually correct, Michelle. And also, with the next question coming up, what message would you like to share with the public about the importance of supporting whistleblowers?
I just would like the public to give us support and understand that we're not bad people. We're very good people, and we deserve a pat on the back, not a bullet in our chest. Um, you know, we just need to get more awareness out there that people are more understanding of what a whistleblower like that represents in our organization and in our country. And we help, like I said, the police even. We can assist anybody because we have the expertise, um, experience to do that. And so that is basically what I would request or recommend in that instance.
Well said, Michelle. And then we are heading into the next set of questions related. So, for experts or advocates on whistleblower protection, what is the current legal and policy landscape for whistleblowers in South Africa?
Well, look, the legislation, although it stipulates that it protects the whistleblower, it needs to be amended in the sense that even if it stipulates that you can't do this and that to a whistleblower within a workplace, there is no accountability that is held against people who are retaliating against you, because there's nothing really happening. Nothing is really going on. So the legislation has to be made more definitive and more stricter in alliance with that particular context, that whistleblowers need to be recognized for what they have done and not seen as the enemy of the country, but the hero of the country. And the legal system itself is not very supportive of whistleblowers, in my opinion. Um, and I think that also needs to change. There has to be a lot of changes, especially the Minister of Justice needs to look at that as well. While whistleblowers are not getting where they need to get, whether it's in court or whether it's with attorneys or anything else. So that needs to be also reviewed.
Well said, Michelle. And then the next question as well. So, what are the most effective international best practices for protecting whistleblowers?
Well, look, whistleblowing is global. It's everywhere. And each country has their own whistleblowing policies that are obviously effective and are there to protect the whistleblower going forward. But South Africa has actually one of the best whistleblowing policies. But like I said, it needs to be amended in terms of the retaliation and the accountability of the person against the whistleblower. And like I said, globally, they are very supportive. They have their own different outlets of how they deal and support their whistleblowers in their country. So it differs from country to country, but whistleblowing is whistleblowing. There is a similarity in that, but the actual legislations and the actual support and everything of that caliber is different in every country globally.
Okay, Michelle. And then the next question coming up. So, what are the biggest challenges in implementing effective whistleblower protection measures in South Africa?
Um, like I said, it's all tied up with the legislation of South Africa with the protection of whistleblowers. I know that there has been there was a slight amendment to the protection of whistleblowers in 2022 by Cyril Ramaphosa, to give additional protection to the whistleblowers, but the legislation and everything has to be intertwined into one. So everything has to go together, so that we have like a one-stop shop type of thing when it comes to protection of whistleblowers in this country, which is very, very important, because if it just carries on the way it is and nobody does anything, it's just going to get worse.
Okay, Michelle, and then we have the final question this moment. What role can the public play in advocating for stronger whistleblower protection?
Well, they can speak out and say that corruption is not something that should be, supported. I'm not saying it in a derogatory way. I'm just saying that a lot of people don't like corruption, and you often hear people say they're sick of it. So I would like to hear more people standing out and speaking against the persecution of whistleblowers, and say they play a significant role in this country, and the government needs to stop persecuting them for, not the government, but what I'm saying, the workplace, which falls under the government entity, has to stop persecuting their workforce for doing what is right, to protect people and the public, which is which I previously said as well. So that is something that I would like to see, and I'm sure other people would like to see. Members of public just want a change. We've got a new government now, so I think that should not be hard to see new changes happening. And I hope that can happen very soon. And I just ask the public to start stepping up and supporting whistleblowers, because we need their support in this particular issue.
Thank you once again, Michelle, for today's session as well. It was really awesome hearing from you about supporting whistleblowers in South Africa. And is there anything, before we head out, is there anything else you'd like to say to the listeners? Maybe a shout out to those who are listening in.
Yeah, those who are listening in, I hope you enjoy what you heard, and that you're having a great day as well. And I'd just like to also say to people that today and tomorrow, if people could contact me, because we're trying to raise funds over the Christmas period to bless those that have been persecuted, because there's a lot of whistleblowers that have lost everything. So we're trying to bless those that have lost everything over the Christmas period. So those that are interested, they can contact me on my cell number, which is 06975444016. It's 06975444016, and then we can take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you once again, Michelle, for your time again with us live on South Coast Radio with today's session about supporting whistleblowers in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, our session with Michelle Morrissey. And thank you once again for staying tuned into South Coast Radio. We still have more hits coming up for the moment as well.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.